Thank you, Thomas, Livia, Reid, Sara, and Felicia. Great that you guys could join us. This panel is about, so we have had two panel discussions. We started with idea stage startups in the morning, and then we jumped into the pre-seed. That very different findings coming in when you change the stage. This is more seed stage. So we are going to be discussing a little bit about how these startups can raise funding going forward, given the current climate and the funding situation that we have. But before that, great if you could take a minute each maybe and tell us a little bit about you, your organization, how you support founders, how do you support them raise money? Yeah, over to you. So maybe we'll start with you, Thomas.
Hello everyone, thanks Namur for the invitation. Glad to be here. Super well organized event, like always. I'm Thomas Bigagli, I'm Director of France, soon Nordics. We are opening quite a bunch of offices there as well. But also I'm an active member of the European, Middle East and Africa Investment Committee. Plug and Play, we've been investing in startups since 30 years. We count more than 35 unicorns in our portfolio. And how do we help these startups? I would say that, during the Death Valley, so mostly pre-seed and seed, Plug and Play can add a lot of value. First, because we are one of the most active VC funds from pre-seed all the way to Series B. And because we invest in so many startups, we are co-investing with all of the top-notch investors in the world. But on top of that, we are more than a VC fund. We are also the largest open innovation platform in the world, working with more than 600 large corporations. So of course, by doing that, we can support startups to increase their revenue, enter new locations or industry, and get market insights. So I would say that, linked to our portfolio promises, that's the biggest ones worth mentioning. And we are supporting startups again through our corporate innovation platform, but also by backing them. This is not correlated at all, these two activities. We are strategic investor investing a relatively small ticket, earning more than 250 startups per annum, and by providing a lot of added value to the table. Nice to meet you all and to see familiar faces.
Yeah, awesome to see the breadth of Plug and Play, and more than being a VC, you're saying, more than 250 startups. So that's great volume. Thank you. Livia, let's talk about Antler.
Hey everyone, super thrilled to be here today. My name is Livia Moore. I'm an associate partner with Antler. We are a global day zero investor, meaning we support companies from the very, very early days and up until greatness. We're a global company, so we have offices in 25 countries currently. And I rep the Nordic part of Antler, where we have been around since 4 years now. We have made 120, 130 investments in the Nordics so far. So pretty large portfolio where we supported primarily these companies from the very earliest days in the pre-seed stages. And we can also follow on with capital up until Series C. So we're industry agnostic. We have backed companies, everything from energy to health tech, B2B SaaS, consumer, you name it. We have a pretty diverse portfolio, and I'm really excited to be here today to listen to the pitches and hopefully share some tips and tricks as well. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Livia. And again, good to see the global focus and then the Nordic focus and the scale that you talked about, 120 to 130 investments, and you go up to Series C. Great. Let's move to Luminar Ventures.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Reid. I'm an investment manager here with Luminar Ventures. And quick background on Luminar, I guess a bit different to Plug and Play and Antler. Obviously, we're more of a traditional pre-seed and seed fund. We make about 10 investments a year, so obviously fairly different scale. The background of Luminar are, first of all, everybody on the investment team at Luminar has been a founder, has built companies, has hired, engineering teams, has raised VC money on the other side of the table. So I think that's a pretty big distinction for us as an investment team. But also, the background of our two co-founding partners as sort of some of the original angel investors here in Stockholm meant that they had been on the journeys of Spotify and Klarna and Truecaller and iZettle from the very, very earliest days. And so those perspectives are both very helpful for our founders, but also allows us to bring in some really amazing executives from those companies to help support our portfolio as they scale. So, a little bit of the sort of venture building mindset that Livia and Thomas referred to, but obviously more of a traditional VC funding model that we have here at Luminar. But obviously it's also a lot of volume. So we look at a lot of companies across the Nordics, but we are aiming for around 10 investments every year, typically around the seed stage. And we invest I would say anywhere between €500,000 and €2 million checks.
Great. So €500,000 to €2 million check. I've heard a lot about Luminar Ventures. First time we are speaking. Per Hedberg has a very high regard for who runs Sting for Luminar Ventures. So great to see you here, Reid. And let's talk about Seedrs. Hugo was with us in the morning. He gave this interesting presentation of the crowdfunding being the next thing. So Sara, very interested in knowing what you are doing at Seedrs.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Sara, and thank you so much for inviting me to this event today. I'm very glad to be here. So I've been with Seedrs since August this year, so fairly new. I'm located in Sweden, and I'm focusing on expanding Seedrs operations in the Nordic market. And some of you may have heard the keynote from my colleague Hugo earlier, but those of you who don't know about Seedrs, I can just tell you briefly. So we are the largest private investment platform in the world. We have consolidated with our American counterpart, Republic, meaning that we now globally have about 2.5 million retail investors. So we help businesses engage their own community, find new investors and customers from the Seedrs community, whilst also marketing their brands across Europe and US. We also help businesses raise money from our community of angel investors and institutional investors through our anchor services. Our sweet spot is seed to Series A, but we have helped businesses across all stages. We are sector agnostic, but very often we work alongside consumer-facing businesses that have the community at their core. And in almost all cases, we invest alongside other angels and VCs. So basically, companies want to do a top-up to engage the community as part of the round. To date, we have done 1,800 fundraising rounds and invested in 2.4 billion euros since 2012. So we had our 10-year anniversary this month, and so really excited to be part of the event and to see the pitching startup soon.
Great statistics. 2.4 billion euros, 118 fundraising round, 1,800. Yes, oh, good. That's big. And then you're talking about seed to Series A. Thank you so much, Sara, and happy to know about the Nordic plans and the Sweden expansion plans. Felicia, peak.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Very happy to be here today. Thank you so much for the invitation. So my name is Felicia, and I'm part of Peak, initially a Dutch VC fund, but as of today, a European fund. We have local presences in Stockholm, Amsterdam, and Berlin. I'm based in Stockholm, and I focus more on the Nordics, even though, as I said, we are a European fund. We do invest early stage from pre-seed to Series A. Normally, we do our initial tickets in pre-seed, seed, and then we help the companies raise their next round, Series A, B, even though we only go in up to Series A. We are also sector agnostic, but we like to invest in everything tech-related, I would say, SaaS, marketplaces, platforms, B2B, B2C, and our tickets normally range from 250K up to 4 million euros. We have backed around 50 companies till today, and what I would say is a bit nice with Peak is that we have this entrepreneurial spirit both within and outside the fund. All of our partners, they have done this startup or scale-up journey themselves, and all of our LPs are entrepreneurs as well. So we do not have any institutional LPs in the fund, which gives our companies a very broad network. Other than that, yeah, we announced our latest fund last week, a 150 million euro fund, where we hope to back another 50 companies the coming years with an extra focus on the Nordics, where we are still quite new.
So in this new fund, Felicia, if I may ask, what's the band that you are operating in terms of, ticket?
You mean both stage and ticket size?
Yeah.
I mean, we do really enjoy, and we have our expertise in the early stage. So we're going to stick to the pre-seed to Series A, perhaps even more focus on the pre-seed seed stage. And our ticket size will still be 250K up to 4 million euros.
250K to 4 million. Brilliant. Thank you so much for all the backgrounds. I would request the production team to kindly onboard the startups, and we can have a quick introduction and then move straight into the pitches. We have 7 startups with us, and it's good to see this kind of variation that we are not exactly, because at times stages are also quite fluffy. There are a couple of startups which are more on the pre-seed side. Some are more advanced. So let's see how that goes. And while we are doing it, hi, Mats. Hi, Sebastien. I see, yes, there are more people joining in. But maybe in the meantime, maybe we don't have that time because everybody seems to be here. Okay, Leona is here. Let me see who else is. So Mats is here, Leona, Sebastien, and Robert is joining us. Brilliant. Maybe we can start quickly with the introductions already, because that way we will probably finish on time. So for the startups joining in, tell us where you're joining from and how do you feel today. Let's start with you, Mats.
Hi there, I'm in Stockholm, Sweden, and I'm super excited because we're starting our fundraising tomorrow. So good start.
Okay, awesome timing. Leona.
Hi, so I'm joining from Jyväskylä, Finland. It is so dark here, so it's so great to see all the energy here. So thank you guys for that.
Okay, yes, it's getting dark, but the Zoom is well lit. Brilliant. Sebastien.
Hi, I'm dialing in from Malmö in Sweden, and we have snow pouring down, so it's real winter.
Snow in Malmö this time. Okay, good to know. Teemu. I see you.
Hello, greetings from Helsinki. I don't think it's that far from the weather in Jyväskylä, but excited to be here. It's been an amazing day, like truly amazing. Well done.
Thank you, Teemu. And Miroslav, are you joined in or not? Maybe.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, you can just tell us where you are joining from. How do you feel?
I feel very good, actually. I'm joining from Sofia, Bulgaria, and as a matter of fact, I feel even greater today because in this morning I was at this competition, which is also funded by the European Commission here locally, and we won actually Innovative Company of the Year for Bulgaria for a startup, for the startup category. So yeah, I feel great today.
Great things happening. What's the date today? You should mark the day somehow.
Yes, I can even show you the kind of yeah.
Brilliant. Robert.
Yes, hi, hello everybody. I'm joining in from Sweden on the west coast, Gothenburg. So looking forward to today and yeah, have a good time.
Thank you. Kristina.
Hi everyone, I'm calling in from Stockholm. Feeling great. I listened to other pitches earlier today. Super nice to hear all the feedback from investors, and I'm super excited about this.
Thank you so much. We'll jump right into it then. The format is that we have around 7 minutes per startup. Now, our experience was when we had the early stage startups in the morning, the idea stage startups, usually startups pitched and we got consolidated feedback from 2, 3, or 4 investors, and then startups had a time to respond to it. But in the last one, we kind of experimented a different approach. We'll see what works best, because it's up to you. Because it could also be that the same 2 or 3 investors can provide feedback, ask a question if they have, and then we move to. So we can experiment. Like startups, we will iterate a little bit, see what works best. So we'll start with the first page. Mats, your funding, your round is opening tomorrow, so we'll start with you.
Hello, my name is Mats from Reeler, and my starting point is a mega trend reshaping the world today. People's longing for authenticity. This desire for what is real is reflected in what we eat, how we dress, and how we consume. It has also given brands a problem because consumers no longer trust advertising. What people do trust is content produced by real customers, and this is why brands are moving into user-generated content. UGC can be incredibly admin heavy. Just imagine collecting and handling thousands of videos from customers and keeping track of license rights. Our solution, Reeler, is a marketing productivity platform that streamlines UGC so that brands can collect big quantities of UGC, easily curate the best content, and keep track of license rights. The benefits to companies are threefold. First of all, they can boost brand engagement and sales. They can also make the UGC work 10 times as time efficient. And thirdly, they can cut content production costs by replacing agency content with user-generated content. The global market for UGC tech is booming and will reach $18 billion in 2028. In this market, we are different from most competitors since we are specialized only on UGC. We will be best at collecting the content from wherever consumers prefer to share it and best at securing the license rights. Our business model is SaaS, and we already have our first paying customers in Europe and the US. This is our team currently doing the Techstars Accelerator in Stockholm. In 2023, our focus is to beef up development and beef up our sales. So if you would like to join Reeler's global journey, please reach out.
Thank you so much. I presume there's the Techstars as a demo day tomorrow evening, right? That's where it's open.
Exactly.
Got it. Thank you. Who wants to go first? We can raise hands. That makes it very easy for me. Like if I see a couple of raised hands, I know who wants to respond to the pitch. But maybe Felicia, and then Thomas, and then Sara. We can probably do 3 each time. Yeah.
Should I go first?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I do both feedback and then a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but a very nice pitch, Mats. I like to hear very much to the point. Very good storytelling. What I would like to see a little bit more of is in the beginning where you say that people do not trust advertising any longer. I mean, I would like to see a number here. Like a few years back, if you put this much money into advertising, this much was converted. Today it looks like this, to actually show that this is a true problem and this is a painkiller solution, not just, a nice feature. And then just a question on the competition. Are you aware of the competitive landscape and what your defensibility is?
I mean, there are several competitors. I mean, the market leaders are US-based. There are also some European competitors. The American competitors, they tend to be like a feature of a bigger marketing tech platform. And we kind of see them not moving so fast anymore. Then I'm almost more afraid of the other pure UGC startups that are popping up. Regarding defensibility, I mean, we hope to lock our customers in a little bit because when they build their media library in Reeler, it is going to be a little bit messy to move it all out again. So that's one moat that we have.
Definitely, because it can actually be very good to just have this like a competitive landscape slide, because I mean you can't overtake your competitors if you aren't aware of them, and it can be good to show that you are aware of the landscape.
Good point. Thank you.
Thomas.
Hi, Matt. Thanks a lot for the pitch. Really straight to the point. Similar feedback as Felicia just mentioned. what I think could be added is on one point. So you mentioned you already have some customers. So I would like to know a bit more about that, but also maybe the story of your entrepreneurial journey. So how you came up to build this specific solution. Why? How do you meet your co-founders? How did you co-build this solution with potential users? And what are the first feedback, etc. I think that's really important, especially at your stage right now, because this is what we will be looking at. So something else that, the questions I would like to mention, to ask you right now is, what about your go-to-market strategy? Your company is quite heavy when it comes to BD and marketing, and I would like to understand better how you are planning to tackle that and gain a lot of traction.
Our go-to-market, there's like a now and a longer plan. Long term, we want to build an online sales pipeline. We're a SaaS company, we're completely scalable. A little bit by chance, we have customers in Europe, in US already, but right now we're doing manual sales. I'm building a lead database, I'm contacting the companies, I'm setting up meetings, I'm doing demos. So at the moment we're doing manual sales, and I think that this will be the case at least for in 2023 still, but we want to build an online sales pipeline where we can send digital traffic.
Definitely. I think automatizing like all of your BD effort can help you, and also potentially starting ASAP some inbound marketing strategy. I think this would be really beneficial. Outbound is great, but inbound, earlier you start, better it is, and you will see great results and becoming, increase your SEO and become a market potentially leader and build trust. I think awareness and trust is really important.
Good idea. We'll do it. Any native speaking blog writers, write to me.
Thank you, Thomas. Sara.
Yes, thank you for a great pitch. I can really see how this could be valuable to marketing teams. And it's quite clear that you're tapping into a growing trend. So I can see why also, user-generated content comes with a heavier burden. So the why is very clear. What I would like to see a little bit more understanding of the how, like how the platform streamlines UGC, maybe some screenshot of, what is actually the product. And also tapping into the same feedback around customers. I visited your website and saw that you also have some well-known customers already. Not sure if you're allowed to shout about them, but it would be great to see if you have some stats or feedback from some of your existing customers, maybe some stats around customer satisfaction, for example. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sara. Just for the founders, questions can also be asked directly. You can respond, but most of the points coming from the panelists can also be taken as feedback points. Yeah. Livia, we go with you and then we have Reid.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mats and Reid, for the pitch. So full disclosure, Reeler is actually one of our portfolio companies. Just wanted to have that said. So I know Mats very well. Thanks for the pitch. I have some questions and feedback. I'd love to understand better sort of how you can help your clients to create more UGC, to really sort of tap into them also becoming better at generating this kind of stuff, and also then subsequently marketing it on the right platforms to the right target audiences. And also kind of on the same note as some of the other questions and feedback, supporting clients in well actually like building your sales organization to really double down on the right kind of clients, get them onboarded as fast as possible and get them up and running as fast as possible. So sort of more like go to market and building a sales engine that can really operate at the speed of light.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Livia. And that answered the question earlier, how I met my co-founder, because we met at Antler. But to your questions, I think when we started Reeler, we wanted to stay away of this kind of advisory with our customers, just because we were dreaming up this really scalable, we just wanted to do the platform. But we have realized that many customers do need advisory and strategy. And we have actually very, very recently decided to offer that to them. Not that we want to become a consultancy firm long term, but we think just to get some best practice going, get more clients on board, we will offer some advisory to customers who don't have a clear UGC strategy. Our best customers are the ones who have a UGC strategy. They just buy the platform and handle it themselves, but not everybody does.
Okay, thank you so much, Matt and Livia. Last quick one, and then we move to Leona.
Yeah, I'll keep it very short, and thanks, Mats, again for a very good pitch. But for me, it was actually sort of a similar thought to what Sara mentioned, which is more on the how it really works. And on the one piece of feedback I would give you, to be very specific, on the solution slide, is to go into much more detail on how the architecture actually works. What is it connecting to? How does it find user-generated content out on the internet? How does it identify things? And try to then position that next to the competitive landscape as the next slide, so you can really show what differentiates you at a product level. I think that really is an important kind of key part of any founder story.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that feedback. It's true, I didn't even show a screenshot, I think. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Matt, do you have any thoughts, reflections you want to share?
I'm thinking about our demo day tomorrow and how I can integrate this feedback into my pitch, but like today is quite limited, 3 minutes, so I have to take something out as well. But so this was really useful to get to meet you all and have this feedback just in time for a demo day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Matt, and thank you to the panelists. We move to Dr. Leona. Hold on.
Hello, I'm Dr. Leona Gilbert, CEO and co-founder of Tezted. Simply put, we're failing the patients. When people get bitten by a tick, multiple microbes can be passed on to the individual, and they can suffer multiple diseases. But the standard of care is actually testing these people one microbe at a time, one disease stage at a time. And these patients are not getting better because of this standard of care. You may not know that actually it takes 11 different visits, 11 different doctors, 11 years on an average to get a proper diagnosis. We're simply failing the patients. 5 years ago, we speculated that 2.8 billion people will be infected with a tick-borne disease. And this is not an outrageous number. Actually, what's been reported is 1.2 billion people are already infected with a tick-borne disease. And 20 million of these people are suffering long-term. We need to do better. And we have, and that's with TickPlex. TickPlex tests 15 different microbes simultaneously against 2 different antibodies so that we can actually give information about what disease stage the patient is at, acute stage, dissemination, or late stage. It is CE-IVD marked and has been rigorously clinically validated. So you understand that the benefit for the patients is quite simple. They only need 1 visit to get a proper diagnosis, and they can recover quicker. Our traction has been excellent. In the first few years, we actually raised 1.5 million euros to establish manufacturing facilities. We rolled out 5 products that are patent protected in the first 9 months, and we built up our team with mentors and advisory boards. COVID hit us. We were resilient to roll out another product, and up to then, we've been profitable, and we have tested 29,000 patients. And so right now, we're raising 1.2 million euros to expand. The team behind this has been Kunal and I, because we listen to the patients and we listen to the customers of what they want. So are you ready to get the patients tested? If you are, come talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Who wants to go first? Maybe raise hands or, yeah. Livia, we go with you and then Reid.
Thank you so much, Leona, for that pitch, and I very much appreciate what you're trying to do for this sort of underserved group of patients. What I would like to better understand is both the actual user journey, but also the entry point into the healthcare system. So end user aside, who are your most important stakeholders when you're selling this product? What does the situation typically look like for this type of patient and the doctor? What's the process typically leading up to the point where a physician would determine that this type of test is appropriate? Or is it even so that the end user goes about this sort of research and this decision making on their own? This is still a little bit unclear to me. And what would be the typical symptoms that the patient is displaying? Because you've seemed to have done a lot of progress on the R&D side, which I think is absolutely the appropriate starting point, obviously. And now comes the go-to-market into play. How are you going to take this step by step? And would also be curious to understand what is the cost of this test and the performance that it has, probability of delivering false positive, et cetera.
Excellent questions. And we can discuss this over drinks because we need to do better for the patients. But I can just say that our go-to-market strategy is B2B2C. We build up awareness through working closely with patient advocacy groups. I sit on various boards and scientific committees on these patient advocacy groups, and we direct them to our customer. Our customer is these specialty laboratories that know how to test for tick-borne diseases and know how to treat. So our go-to-market strategy is really working with these specialty laboratories, but since COVID, we have now appreciated the benefits of working with distributors. So we have a US distributor that just signed on. We have a US lab that's showing hard interest with our test kit. And we expect to be in the US market actually within 2 months, because they can enter the market through an LDT kind of underscore and acceptance. You talked about the performance of the test kits. We are outperforming the robustness of the available test kits right now. We are at 98% sensitivity and 98 specificity. And right now, just merely putting more microbes on a plate has actually allowed patients to recover quicker and like 10 times quicker. And so that's the input kind of attribute that I want to record from early, like years ago we started recording this, and this is just excellent for us. So great questions.
Thank you so much, Leona. I like this comment over here. I'm just picking it up. I like your energy and cool vibes. Thank you. It seemed very powerful response. Yes, Reid, over to you.
Yeah, also love your energy, Leona. Thank you for that. But on a similar topic to what Livia was asking, what are the sort of regulatory hurdles that you need to overcome in this journey, and what have you kind of overcome already in that sort of regulatory space, and what still has to happen?
Yeah. So for Europe, we are compliance with the in vitro diagnostic regulations. So it's CE IVD marked. So we are selling all in Europe, which is really great. For US, we do not need FDA approval just yet. We're going to go as a laboratory developed test first. That's why I can say we can get into the market within 2 months. But we have to work with a lab there. We have applied for COFERS approval in Mexico. And if that goes through within the next 6 months, then Health Canada will follow, Australia, TGA will follow because of the agreements. So the regulatory demand is quite robust, but we are approved here in Europe. And it's a matter of just making sure that we have validation studies within the population that we're going into, like Australia. So we just finished a validation study of Australian patients. So that will help us getting TGA approval in Australia. So it is robust, but we are there. We have a handle on it.
Thank you. Any more feedback from the panelists? If not, Leona, you can share your reflection, or if there is some question you have on your mind, you can ask.
Oh my God, what you're talking about my energy. Holy shit, this has been kick-ass. And keep it up, really. Organizers and panelists. I mean, we entrepreneurs are here and we get our energy from you guys too. So keep the kick-ass attitude up and the energies. That's what I wanted to say.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Awesome. We move to our third pitch. And we have Sebastien. Let's see.
Hi. At Handiscover Accessibility, we focus on helping the needs of people with disabilities. Indeed, 2/3 of our community are struggling to find reliable accessibility information when planning to visit a place or when actually visiting a place. And our target group is as big as 20% of the population and growing fast due to the aging population. In itself, it's a 20 billion euro market in Europe only. So at Handiscover, we focus on collecting, verifying, and classifying super granular data about accessibility. Our value proposition is based around 4 pillars: collecting unique data, showcasing that data on our customers' websites or apps, analyze and benchmark data, and help them also to improve their accessibility over time. Customers are, for example, big shopping malls like Vela Centrum, where we install an accessibility button on their website and you press on it, a widget with all our granular data, our icons and pictures for key data points are being showcased, really helping end users to plan their trip. Today, we work with 8 out of the 10 biggest property owners in Sweden and are now scaling to Nordic and Europe through our customers. We have a pipe of 190,000 euros and are now to venture also into hotels and having discussions with our customers at a Nordic and European level. We are 11 employees with helping to reach roughly 84,000 euro in ARR this year and 1 million euro within 12 to 18 months. We have a team of veteran entrepreneurs and a very international team, 35% women and 70% of us have a disability or a member of a family with a disability. We've raised 4 million euro in equity so far and 2 million in grants, now backed by European Investment Council and how high at Handiscover.
Okay, it just got over there, but I hope we got all the message in. Let's see. Reid, we can start with you and then Felicia and then Thomas and then Livia. Okay, we have a full house. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Sebastien. As I thought it was very interesting, but I wanted to ask a quick question, sort of just on a data point that you showed at the end, which is that you've raised 6 million euros already. So I'd love to understand a little bit about how that money has been invested. In the business already, what for years or however long you've been going since raising 6 million euros for the business.
Yeah, you were cut a little bit, but I think I got it. Basically, we started our journey as a B2C, building a marketplace for disabled accommodation booking in 2015. And basically, just before COVID hit, we realized that in order to superscale our marketplace, we needed to build a business-to-business solution in order to help us finance the data gathering. Because before, for our marketplace, we had to build this unique data layer. We had to build it at our own cost, which was fine with for the MVP, but not long term. So we started on this business-to-business concept, and we realized that in order to launch it, we needed to build accessibility data management platform that would cost us roughly 2 million euro. And so we saw that it would be hard to raise that from with equity. So we pitched and managed to get, just before COVID, we had good timing, the EIC accelerator, and we got 2 million euro in fund. So we could use COVID times, basically when all travel was dead, to basically pivot the business or add another leg to the business. And we were supposed to validate that management system with the travel industry, but also with COVID not giving us a break, we basically had to shift from travel to actually retail. And it's why basically we build the traction on the B2B with our SaaS model in the retail space at the moment, and now ready to go back to hotels because we are starting to do okay again. So
got it. Thank you.
Felicia.
Yes. Hi, Sebastien. Really nice pitch. Now you already covered a bit of my question, because my question was a little bit about the business model, but also the customer journey. But now you told me that you pivoted into a B2B kind of model. But I mean, it's still like the end customer. It's still the ones visiting, for example, Vela Centrum. And can you just tell me, like, how this works for the users? Do they have to visit like Vela Center's website where you have sold your product into, or is there also like an app, or how smooth and user friendly is this for the end customer?
Yeah, no. So for the sake of the business to business solution, where our customer are the big shopping malls or the hotels and so on, and of course, but the benefiters are the end users. But the point of the B2B is to relieve us from the pressure of having to, build a community and build all that traffic. So here we piggyback on the traffic that all these big shopping malls have, and leverage on that to long-term build our brand, basically. So the users of the widget that we install on our customer's website, for example, so Vela, which is just one shopping mall, for example, they have 1 million visitors on their mall. We know that 3% of them are clicking on our widget at the moment. So in the last 6 months, we've already have over 200,000 user interaction with our widget, showcasing really that the widget is adding value to end users. And since it's co-branded Handiscover, it helps us build the brand long term. So
definitely got it.
Thank you. Thomas and Livia, shorter.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Reid and Felicia already asked the questions I wanted to ask, but maybe, to go a bit further into that, I would like to know, so as you pivoted, etc., and you have all of discussion you've been co-building during COVID time, what's your pipeline now? What's your, BD strategy, etc.? Because I think the sales funnel for you to convert is pretty slow in this specific use case. So how you are planning to make it shorter? What's your plan overall?
Yeah, I mean, the reason when in the travel industry, the aim that we had was to work with big hotel chains, and we had contracts with them that were all disappeared with COVID. And it's why we then chose the retail space, because in the retail space, there are also some big European companies. So some of our first customers are, for example, part of Unibail Rodamco Westfield or Clépierre, which are two French-based huge property managers. And we are now, after having the first sales here in Nordic, we are starting to have the discussions at European level. And that's really so we want to scale on the B2B side. It's basically using the fact that they are all represented from big international players here in Nordics, that we put all our focus to sign first in order to get them happy, and then help us get the introduction at HQ level in order to scale fast on a European level. Because from a tech platform, thanks to the EIC grant, we've been able to build a super ready. I mean, it's fully mature tech platform now that we have, with the luxury of spending.
And just maybe on that, Sebastien. So what's as you want to scale from an existing partnership, how long it takes you to close the first one? From the first contact all of the way to converting, and how much generally they represent in revenue.
So it's why we use the develop with customers strategy in 2021, because with the first malls that we worked with, they were all part of big ones. So of course the first one, it took like 3 to 4 months to sign them. Now what we see is that in the last months, we have been able to scale fast from, having from each of these big property owners one location to now 5-6 locations, and now after 6 months already starting to discuss at HQ level. So it goes faster, but of course it's always the first ones are the longer to sign. But at the same time, we work in the CSR space. So, I mean, the bad conscience that we have very soon, if they see their competitors having that, helps for us, helps us. Now we see that because...
Very clear. I will leave Livia to ask final question.
Yes, thanks. I'll be super quick. I just have 2 questions. Number 1, I'd love to understand for the end user, what is the killer feature for them? And number 2, on the B2B side, what does customer success look like? What's the most important KPI that you need to be hitting to ensure customer success?
Yeah, so on the first point, It was the user.
The killer feature for the end user.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but for us, it's a game changer because from today, having absolutely zero information, or at best, you would see a retail or hotel claiming to have a disabled parking or a disabled toilet, but meaning nothing less. We go in our widget, you can navigate the map, see every single entry with pictures. So you see data, pictures, and so in a super granular way that you can even filter depending on your disability. And so you goes from basically the bicycle to a Rolls Royce. So it's a game changer. And for the for our customers, I mean, the key KPI for them that will be the traffic or the interactions with the widget, because for us it's the top of the iceberg only, but it's the engagement with the widget is the proof of relevancy of the product, basically.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we'll run to the next one. Thank you so much, Sebastien.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
And thank you, panelists. We'll move to Teemu. Let's see if we can get your presentation up ASAP. ES project, yes.
Hi, I'm Teemu. I'm the COO and co-founder of EAS project. I'm here to tell you of a horrendous story about a trade debilitating problem and a heroic team overcoming the challenge. EAS removes the artificial compliance barriers from e-commerce. We open EU and UK to online merchants, with more countries open soon. There really is a problem if 500 online stores do 58% of intra-EU cross-border commerce. Further, the EU Commission found the domestic compliance cost to be 2.6% for SMEs. Also, according to the same source, the cost of selling cross-border quadruples that to 10%. Regulation is complicated and being compliant requires help, which is costly, also difficult, and requires extensive effort still. In other words, without comprehensive automated solution, the compliance rabbit hole becomes 3 rabbit holes. And that is exactly what EAS fixed. The no-code onboarding is key to happy merchants. We are also happy to configure the solution on their behalf for added ease. Comprehensive solution means support for all business models, which means scalability and usability for all company sizes. EAS solution is approved and recommended by industry leaders, Royal Mail, Swiss Post, EasyShip and Shopify. The no-code and efficient processes means clients are compliant in hours instead of weeks. The transparent and affordable pricing model makes it a real no-brainer. The complete VAT solution is ready and in the market. We have over 200 customers. We're onboarding every day, 3 to 12 new clients. We've achieved this with 0 marketing budget. If you want to become part of the global solution to e-commerce, we do need more fuel in the tank. Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, Reid, we go with you.
Yes, so thanks, Teemu. That was a great pitch. I think you did a good job explaining everything very crisply. But I think this is one where a competitive analysis is absolutely essential, right? Because there are obviously other players out there that we all know about who are in this space. So it'd be really important to understand what differentiates EAS here and why there's a big opportunity specifically for you and for your product. So yeah, I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
Basically, the comprehensive solution with the no-code onboarding. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, I got you.
That seems to be the key to merchant happiness. To validate the product, we have currently collaborated. We have a partnership with Royal Mail, who people are selling our solution to their merchants. I mean, they see our solution as being the solution to restore their parcel business to EU. So that should be a big validation. I know there are a lot of players in the field. None of them are doing exactly what we are doing. We're very merchant friendly, we're very fast, and that seems to be the key. Oh, and we are talking to some other postal operators, major operators in the world, on partnering in a similar fashion to Royal Mail.
Thank you. Felicia.
Yes, hi. Very good pitch, very short, and you didn't overcomplicate it. But as Reid said, I was also about to ask a little bit about the competition, because I think there is a crowded market here. And that's why I would have liked you to, go a bit more deeper into how you do things, because then it is like easier to understand why you're different.
Yeah, I understand. Sorry?
Yeah. Could you iterate a little bit like how you do it differently?
We can handle all of the VAT issues, sales side VAT issues. Instead of focusing on one solution, we can handle all of them. So the more complicated the business becomes, they can import things to EU. They can have intra-EU warehouses. They can have multiple warehouses, which will result in certain domestic sales and some being intra-EU sales. For all of these, we can handle the data or the reporting. Once it's automated, I mean, our biggest market is UK, followed by US, and 95% of our customers are non-EU, by the way. The importation is the most difficult part here. When there is a transparent pricing, no-code onboarding, and the full scalability at later stages when they can start having warehousing in EU, that seems to be the big difference there. Why the big four haven't done this? That's often the question. They are selling consultancy. We are prohibiting anyone from having that consultancy. You don't need it. We focus on doing it.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you, Sara. And then Livia.
Yeah. I mean, those two questions were basically the same as I was going to ask around, how it's done and how it's different from other solutions. But I think what could also be interesting in hearing more about is the customer journey, what it looks like. You mentioned that it's very easy to onboard new customers, and I saw that you have already 200 customers. Is that right? In fairly short amount of time. So maybe you could share, some stats around that, customer satisfaction, if there are a dropout rate or similar.
Okay, the customer journey, this is a wonderful story. You know how many of your friends are Googling VAT compliance during the weekends? If they are, they have a problem. And this is just absolutely wonderful. If they end up on our website, they will go through it. Of course, we'll find out who they are. Unless they book a meeting or start registering with us, we already have it. We have really 100% conversion rate from a meeting. We have a few companies having dropped out, just less than 5. The matter is complicated, it's difficult. We do have absolute expertise in-house, so we can answer the complicated question, but most of the customers only want to hear that we got their backs, and we do.
All right, thank you. Those are some very impressive numbers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Livia.
Yeah, that's actually a good segue to my question. And first of all, Teemu, thanks for a great pitch. So my question is more around scaling. Now, you mentioned that you want to use further funding in order to actually market this and onboard more. So I'd love to understand how have you grown sort of organically so far? Like what channels have you tried specifically? What messages have been working? How are you envisioning that you'll be able to really 10x the growth of this? What new channels are you dying to try? What will the mix of sort of paid, organic be, etc.? What segments are currently, or segments of e-commerce stores are growing the fastest, etc.?
That was a lot of questions. Basically, where we want to move is to have language support and marketing. A German speaker will not buy difficult compliance in English. They just don't want to do that. The same goes for French speakers. We're missing out on massive markets apart from Swiss market, where the Swiss Post is actually pushing us forward. How we reached this stage was pretty much what somebody said earlier on during the day. We were very active in the communities. When there is a discussion about cross-border sales, we were giving advice. We were telling them, look at the compliance, but we're also giving technical advice. We're very active, especially in the Shopify community, which is the main product for us. The same thing just continues. Active participation in the communities, having a proper support for the questions in native language is absolutely essential. And this already seems to be the winning ticket. We are working with partners. We're working with EasyShip, and like I said, a few postal operators already. We're looking to expand on that. For logistics companies, once they realize that having a simple solution for cross-border sales might actually increase their logistics services demand for them. So we are working with EasyShip with over 100,000 customers already. So that would be the path forward. But I do want to include the other language areas and the people less confident in English and less confident in VAT compliance.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Teemu, any follow-up questions you have? We are now slightly compressed on time, but we'll still be able to run the pitches properly. So any very
just to
quick...
say thank you. Just to say thank you. Wonderful day. Again, I know I'm repeating myself. That's the key.
Short and sweet. Thank you so much.
Exactly. Thank you.
We now move to our next, the third last presentation for the day. And let's see if Holoma can join us. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. This is Miroslav from Holoma. I'm going to briefly share with you what we do. So we have actually developed a software which is based on Microsoft HoloLens 2, which is aimed at orthopedic surgeons worldwide, because the problem that we actually found was that in the 20 million surgeries, orthopedic surgeries per year, there are about 20% of the patients that are actually unhappy with the work and have problems, discomfort, and the need for revision surgeries. Basically, what we do is we help the surgeon execute the preoperative plan perfectly using 3D holographic navigation. What we do is actually we take the 3D image of the patient's bone along with the preoperative plan that the surgeon has made, and we upload this to HoloLens glasses, where in every step of the process, we actually help him position his tools directly, basically execute all the actions that are connected to the surgery perfectly by showing him in real time the deviation between his tool and the perfect line that needs to that he needs to execute, essentially. The impact, essentially, we are aiming at getting a big share of the market. We're working already with orthopedic surgeons from around the world, and also with some medical universities that we're doing clinical studies and research, and basically validating our technology. Our team is formed of multidisciplinary professionals, and we also have an orthopedic surgeon in our co-founders. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Felicia, Reid, and Thomas in that order. Felicia, Reid, and Thomas. Yeah.
Great. Hi, amazing pitch, amazing idea. Now this is this space is not where my expertise lies, but I just want to ask about the both risk and opportunities on building this on top of HoloLens 2. And for the future, if you will be able to also move or integrate into other goggles, or if it is really stuck to like a HoloLens when you know how to build it on top of it.
So that's actually a very good question, and thank you for that, because we've also been discussing this internally in our team. So right now we're working with the second generation of HoloLens, which came out about 3 years ago. Even though it's new technology and it's vastly improved from the first one, still the time that has taken from Microsoft to actually get out there the third generation is quite long. For us, we have actually, because this is a very rapidly and very dynamic space, AR and mixed reality headsets. We've actually in the past month have held some conversations with competitors of HoloLens to actually study, on one hand, advantages, disadvantages. Of course, there isn't one, I would say, clear winner in this space, but internally and technically speaking, it wouldn't be much of a big effort for our team to actually migrate. So even though that for the current use case and for what we have planned, HoloLens 2 is technically sufficient, we are actually looking at mitigation, kind of mitigating this risk.
Okay, and also just one more question on this, like HoloLens 2, have you seen any proof or numbers on that this is the most used one within like medical facilities, or why did you choose HoloLens 2?
We mainly chose HoloLens 2 because on one hand we had experience with since HoloLens was out there. Basically, our team has experience with the first generation, but also because it's a standalone headset. Most of the other ones are using basically a computer and which is connected to a cable for rendering, and we wanted to be mobile and inside the operation room to have only the goggles. In terms of usage, I would say that most of the companies that are doing similar things to us are using HoloLens 2, and I think this is the quickest way to market, because developing software is one thing, developing hardware it's a completely different story.
Indeed. Okay, thank you.
Reid, and then we'll see how much. Yes, Reid, definitely you. Hi, Reid. I think you're frozen. Thomas, we move to you.
Sure. Thanks a lot for the great pitch. I mean, huge pain points you're solving. I'm not the most knowledgeable person maybe in the room when it comes to such pain points you're trying to solve. But still, I wanted to, you spoke a lot about attractions, but you did not tell us, how many customers, users, etc. you have. I think would be great to have. Also, when you speak about like the added value of using your solution, it would be great to know how much time they save, what's the accuracy, etc. A bit some data points, metrics. And lastly, I don't know if you saw, but you had some the overall design of the deck was great, but you had some formatting issues with some overlapping of text on text, etc. But that's a details. But so yeah, attractions would be great, and also anything linked to the added value of using your solution.
All right. So the first question, quite a number of questions, but anyway. So the first one,
Miroslav, very short.
Sure.
So, yeah,
I'll try. Yeah. I'll try. The biggest hurdle in front of us in terms of to get the required traction is actually that we're doing a medical device which needs the proper certification. For the European market, there will be CE mark. For the United States, we would require an FDA. We have already started this process, and as such, we cannot actually sell and use in real life the most value-added part of our solution, which is actually the holographic navigation. Instead, what we have partnered with, what we have focused on, is actually building a community and building a network of medical universities that are really fascinated by this technology, and they want to actually validate the use of augmented reality in surgical use. And also we have partnered and already using it in intraoperatively with surgeons from countries that actually don't require certification. I mean, I wouldn't say that we kind of want to break people or anything, but this is completely safe anyways.
Thanks.
We can take one quick one. Reid, you got frozen last time. You want to go ahead? Livia, probably you can take the next one.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the pitch, Miroslav. So you mentioned that you're currently validating your technology. So firstly, I'd love to learn what are the sort of most important milestones in this roadmap? And secondly, how much capital do you need to actually get the final product in the market, given that it's perhaps some sort of more hurdles to jump over in terms of the licenses, the correct R&D, etc.
So the biggest milestone actually that we achieved is actually the device HoloLens. As the default, it only has a refresh rate of like once per second. When we're doing the navigation part, I mean, you know that surgeons do have more precise hands than us normal people, but even the best surgeon would, for him, would be very hard to actually overcome, to actually achieve the perfect position of the tool when the refresh rate is per second. What we've done is actually through our own algorithm on top of HoloLens, we've achieved 20 milliseconds, which is 50 times faster than Microsoft. And our next big hurdle, and this is what our team is currently working on, is imagine an operation room. So our methodology is actually the surgeon and his assistant, both of them, they use one headset. So in the example where I don't see the marker, but my assistant on the other hand sees it, both devices will communicate to each other to know in any time the position of the markers that we're tracking. And this in this way, you know, our confidence level is going to always be the highest possible, and we'll always show the perfect position of the tool, of whatever intervention the surgeon needs to do. In terms of the funding required, so for us, all of the funds that we require essentially are connected. Most of them are connected to the certification, the legislative part, and also further product development and business development. We've based on our business plans, essentially we're looking now for a round of about 2 million euros for a runway of 18 to 20 months.
Thank you so much. I think, is there any follow-up question you have, Miroslav? Otherwise, we'll move to the last two pitches of the day.
No, I don't want to, take any more of the time for the other pitches.
Brilliant, but very well explained answers. Thank you for the panelists. Anna, I see that you are here. We'll probably be able to start the last closing address in about 15 minutes. So we have 2 more pitches to go. So I'll move ahead with the second last pitch we have. Let me see. myflow, Robert.
Hi, my name is Robert Bloom and I'm one of the co-founders to myflow Learning, a digital ecosystem for knowledge. Our team have been together more than 17,000 hours before we actually started off myflow. The reason why is that we initiated the biggest initiative in Sweden when it's coming to knowledge, Hela Sverige Samlas. The timing for our company is fantastic. The reason why is that the expert and creator market is booming. However, the problem that we could see within Hela Sverige Samlas was that a lot of the experts didn't know how to digitalize their expertise, so they don't meet demand from the companies. So the solution is very, very easy. We built an ecosystem for the experts so they can have one place where they do everything. So they can save time and energy, have more customers and new revenue streams. We do that via modules and integrations that you can see here. So you can have everything in one place as an expert. However, there is also a marketplace within the platform, so companies can filter out and create a very easy way to reach out and get the best experts in no time. On the expert side, we have a revenue sharing and a SaaS model. On the company side, we have 2 fixed products. The market is huge. Only in Sweden, we have 118,000 experts, and we should reach approximately 1,000 of those within 3 years to meet budget. 200 of those is already in the platform, 43,000 on the company side, 2,000 on the 3-year plan, and we already have 450 in the platform. The team, as I said, have been together for a long while. Here is the 8 co-founders, and we have a lot of consultants that is coming in with us as well and doing great stuff. The offer that we can give you here today is within a 3-year plan, a 7x, and that is 5% in the company for 1.8 million Swedish. Thank you for listening, and I'm happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Robert. And Yes, we start with Livia. Livia, Sara, and Felicia, and then if we have time, Reid.
Thank you so much for the pitch, and I love that you included also the sort of why now element in your pitch. So my question is around the co-founding team, actually. 8 co-founders, that's a pretty impressive amount. I'd love to understand how, just sort of in brief, how you complement each other and how you're sharing roles and responsibilities.
Well, it's actually easy because we came together within the pandemic time, and when we did so, we did this initiative Hela Sverige Samlas. So all of us were coming together doing this extraordinary event 3 times with more than 10,000 people participated. And so when we did that, we came together from different angles, but we're all tech nerds or sales nerds. So you can say that we are tech and sales, all of us. So we complement each other in a great way.
Thank you. Any follow-up, Livia, or we can then move to Sara?
Yeah, just I guess a quick follow-up. Do you find that it's easy to sort of ensure that you're not working on the same things as co-founders, or that you're not kind of, I guess, stepping on each other's toes? Do you have very clear roles where you know how you're working together, but also dividing and conquering? As I would say, it's quite uncommon to see that many co-founders.
Yeah, I understand that. And the reason why, as I said, is we're coming from this initiative, and as being together for so many hours, thousands and thousands of hours, we already have all the conflicts, all the friction, all that kind of thing. So when we're now entering the field, we can do that in a much more effective way, and we know our position in the team.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Sara.
Yeah, thank you, Robert, for a great pitch. I think it's a really interesting market that you're in with the gig economy booming. And it seems like you have found your own niche and built a platform that really solves a lot of challenges for freelancers and that you call experts. What I would like to know a bit more about is your target customer when it comes to the companies that you work with. Have you dug deeper into what type of businesses that are most likely to use this kind of service, and how do you go about acquiring new customers? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. On the company side, it's companies between 20 and up to approximately 100 employees. So you can see that the HR in that company had the learning and development in their knees. So much often they are not prepared to handling that. So we're helping them to get to the first level or maybe the second level of treating this upskill, reskill stuff, and to get a very easy way to get a hand of the best experts that's in the market. So that's what we're doing on the company side. And that's where we have a sales team that is doing that outbound. And we also do that together with the experts, because they starting to open doors to their customer base. So that's a pretty easy way. And on the expert side, that's where we have a huge network ourselves. So that's not so much of a problem, because the rumors is already out there and they coming to us.
Thank you. Felicia.
Yes. Hi. Thank you for that pitch. Really interesting. And I really like this space, even though the e-learning space is a bit crowded. So I have 2 questions, and that is, due to experience, I've seen a few of these models before, and they tend to be a bit tricky to monetize on. So could you just, again, iterate a little bit on how you will grow your revenue, but also how you stand out from competition?
So when it's coming on the revenue side, it's on the expert side, we have a SaaS in the foundation, and we also have a rev share model. So we did take the SaaS very, very low. So we managed to get no friction coming in as an expert, and then we actually grow with them. So we don't have a cut. Instead of having a SaaS that is a bit high and you need to sell to them, we lower it down and we grow together with them. So it's pretty easy and not so usual way to do it because of the reason that we know the space very inside out. So that's the reason why we choose it. And so far it's been very successful.
And do you believe the coming years, because I've seen like a trend of people, information is free and is everywhere. And now we have seen this, created learning, micro-learning, people believing that knowledge should also be free. Do you think that the willingness to pay for this will continue?
I think it's like this, because we are a digital strategic partner to the experts. So when it's coming to live streaming, coming to coaching, when it's coming to all this kind of digital setup, they need to meet demand from the companies. So it's not all about selling knowledge. It's more about how they actually digitalize their expertise so they can have a partner while they are actually giving that expert to the companies. So we are part of their solution when they're selling their own expertise.
Mm-hmm. Got it. No, I like your niche. It's interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask, Sara, did I miss you? I was checking the raised hands, or did you ask? You had a question?
No, I already asked my question.
Okay, great. Reid, your question short, and then the last bit.
And actually, I thank Felicia and Sara who actually asked my questions. So just quick feedback though, Robert. Very, very good pitch. Really enjoyed it. I would say if you can to try to keep the deck in one language. I think that's something that in general is a small detail, but definitely worth doing. And also when you get to the ask at the end, rather than sort of doing the ask in the context of the valuation that you'd like or the equity that you'd like to give away, rather to do the ask in terms of how much do you need to get to the next stage and what are you going to invest the funds in? I think that's more the way that we typically think about our sort of stage of investing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reid. Robert, any last points? And then we move to the last pitch.
Thank you. High five.
Thank you so much for being here for the day. And we move to our last pitch of the day. And then we have a closing address from Anna Gisler, who is waiting for us now. We got a little late. Anna will be there in 8 minutes. So Kristina, it's your pitch. Let's see if I can play this.
Manly hair growth, infertility, uncontrollable weight gain, and depression. These are only some of the symptoms that women with chronic hormonal disorders deal with on an everyday basis, affecting their quality of life. In fact, 87% of patients are dissatisfied with the knowledge, guidance, and help received from healthcare about their diagnosis. And it can take up to 2 years to get the right treatment while spending a lot of money just to manage their symptoms. It's time to stop normalizing a life with chronic hormonal disorders, and it's time to care. My name is Kristina, and we at Ovulai decided to care by creating the first digital therapeutics for hormonal disorders, starting with the diagnosis called polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, caused by hormonal imbalance and affecting 1 in 5 women worldwide. Our solution is an app incorporating the first line of treatment recommended by the doctors, which is lifestyle interventions. By using the latest evidence-based knowledge and digital techniques, we make it possible for women to tackle the root cause of their condition and become symptom-free. So 1 month ago, we launched our beta app in our PCOS community and already have over 700 users. We have also received great customer satisfaction, and 30% of them have already improved their quality of life. We also recently closed our angel investment round. With our seed investment in future, we want to scale B2C model and enter B2B market, as well as CE-mark our app, and also long-term expand into European market and diagnostic field. And this wouldn't be possible without our amazing female team of engineers, software developers, and expert team within different medical professions, together with our PCOS community. So our vision at Ovulai is to become the leading digital platform to treat hormonal disorders.
Okay, that ended abruptly, but great pitch, Kristina.
Thanks.
Thomas, and then whoever wants to go, Thomas, Felicia, and Livia. Yeah.
Hi, Kristina. No, really a great pitch. Super inspiring, was clean, straight to the point. Honestly, you nailed it. I have a few questions, but maybe let me focus on one as we are quite a bunch. I wanted to ask you, what's your unique value propositions? How do you differentiate yourselves from your competitors? This is something that you did not really emphasize on. I understand, you want to sell your company, but would love to have your insights on that one.
Yes, so the uniqueness of our solution is to be a one pitch shop for this complex disorder, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Since today, the customer journey is that, or patient journey is that you go to your gynecologist and then you get sent to different types of medical professionals to treat your chronic disorder. You get sent to a dietitian, to physical therapist, psychologist, gynecologist, and this demotivates the patient to actually take care of the disorder and treat it in a sustainable way. So we are gathering all this in our app, but we're also, not only that, we're also leveraging on the technology part. So we are digitalizing everything and letting the algorithms motivate and guide the user into this journey of managing this. So the value proposition is really having a coach, a PCOS coach in your pocket.
And just a quick one on that one. So you are saying that you are the only digital solution solving this particular use case?
Digital therapeutic. So digital therapeutic is basically like the therapy, evidence-based therapy in a digital format, which already has evidence behind it. So that's we are actually the only digital therapeutic for polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Then the UVPs should be great to be analyzed also on your indirect competitors, because I guess you have quite a bunch. But thanks again for the great pitch.
Thank you so much. Felicia.
Yes, hi. Very much appreciate what you're solving here and that you're tapping into such a particular topic. I just wanted to ask, but I saw on your roadmap on the last slide there that you're going to pivot into B2B as well. What's the strategy for that and how are you going to do that?
Yeah, so right now we're talking to different healthcare clinics, IVF clinics, who actually get approached by PCOS patients suffering infertility. And IVF clinics, for example, they need to reject these patients if they are overweight or have other symptoms of PCOS. So in that case, we are providing our solution as a tool for them to get a all-around support for IVF patients. On the other hand, we are talking to private gynecologist clinics in order to be a tool for making the patient visits more efficient by providing our app as a tool in between doctor's visits. So instead of doctor needing to have like to provide the information, the guidance regarding the lifestyle treatment of PCOS, we provide that in the app, making the doctor's visit more efficient. So there is like the strategy, we are just tapping into that. We have kind of proved the value for the healthcare actors, but we are now in discussions of pilot projects, and we haven't really figured out the monetization, but but we have launched a B2C right now, focusing on that.
Thank you, Livia.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kristina, for the pitch. Really important problem. I know several women who suffer from PCOS. So glad that you're trying to solve this. So I can actually build on the previous question a little bit. Do you sort of plan to, I guess you're still in the kind of exploration phase, but do you plan on having these two business models, the B2C and the B2B, live simultaneously, or do you envision that you'll be sort of moving over to a business model only working with the sort of within the healthcare system? And what for Ovulai. Do you see yourself also expanding into other areas of female health, or rather sort of expanding within the PCOS space?
Yeah, so regarding the business model, so we see ourselves like the B2C model is important in order to really nail the value proposition for the patient, because this is something that will be important when selling this to the clinics as well. The better profit will come from the B2B partnerships and monetization model. So we see ourselves like going over to that one. But in the future, we want to expand Ovulai into digital therapeutics for endometriosis and other chronic hormonal disorders, having lifestyle interventions as a treatment, because it's we see that this can be distributed through the same channels. Once we have channels, clinics for the PCOS solution, we can leverage on the same channels for go-to-market strategy for other solutions like endometriosis and thyroid disorder and so on.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. That was our last pitch for the day and for the entire day. The entire pitching sessions and panel discussions are over. A big thanks to all our panelists and all our startups who could make it to the day. And great ideas, great diversity in teams, geography, like, I don't know, they're really good. And we also had ideas from both ideas, pre-seed and seed stage. So a big thank you for today, everyone.